Hello everyone, welcome to the unboxing of Canakit Raspberry Pi 4 Starter Pro Kit. I've chosen a 4GB one which has the 32GB card with it. So let's jump into the video. The packaging is very simple. Here we go, some information on the top. Packaging looks fine. So some cautionary steps to make sure you're putting the display ports and everything in the right slots. Some information about the GPIO inputs, which can be used for the battery, audio, or display, and a message from the assembler. So here we go. The first one is the mini HDMI to HDMI cable. As you know, Raspberry Pi 4 only has the mini HDMI port. This is the on-off switch, which has both the ends USB Type-C and a button on and off. This is useful when you have a socket far from you. A cooler fan, which can be put onto the GPIO pins. A 32GB SD card, which has the operating system flashed onto it. So this is included with the Starter Pro Kit, only with the Starter Pro Kit. Some Heatsinks, which can be applied onto the Raspberry Pi 4. A micro-SD card adapter with a USB pin. The power supply, as you can see, it is a USB-C power supply. It accepts only 5 volts and 2 amps. This is the Raspberry Pi 4 itself. The packaging is very good, like it's very crisp, short, and everything. So this is the case, guys, and a manual. So how to set it up. Quick start guide, you can say. So I'm expecting the setup process is very straight and very simple, as we already have the operating system flashed onto a card by the provider itself. So let's open the Raspberry Pi 4 now. So there are some specifications, like I have chosen the 4GB out of 1, 2, and 4GB options. Rest everything is the same. The motherboard or the processor or the GPU, everything is same, just the RAM is different. So you can see the board is very tiny. It's almost the size of a credit card. That is the CPU, and let's see where the heatsinks go. If you're using it for medium to heavy usage, I recommend you apply heatsinks on. The larger one goes on the CPU, the smaller one goes on the RAM, the other one goes on the smaller. So there are 3 heatsinks which are given. If you don't feel the heatsinks are enough, you can also apply fan. So this is the case which aligns with all the ports and everything, and this case is only compatible with the Raspberry Pi 4. So it got 3 different parts in it: the base, the frame, and the lid. So the frame has each of it has enough ventilation for the chip to cool down when having heavy usage. So when you align it, when you put it onto the base, it automatically aligns with all the ports, like the SD card and on all the other ports which we have seen before, the USB Type-C, mini HDMI, and everything. So I'd like to so the first step is to put it on the base and then put the frame onto it. Then we can insert the micro SD card onto it. So there is a slot which is accessible even though the case is completely fitted onto the Raspberry Pi 4. So they have been provided SanDisk 32GB, which is already flashed with the Raspbian OS. So there is a NOOBS installer which is provided by Raspberry themselves. So as this slot is available, you can actually complete the case completely and then put the micro SD card into it. So the setup is fairly simple. You just insert the micro SD card, put the lid on. You can also put the lid before, then connect it straight away to the monitor, display, mouse, have the keyboard, and plug it in. So this is all the setup, guys. So I'll also go ahead and put the I have my monitor plugged in with the mini HDMI to HDMI, which was provided in the package. So I'm connecting. So one thing to make sure is you have to put in the display port onto the primary HDMI slot, primary mini HDMI slot, which is display 0. So it will be right next to the USB-C port. I'm plugging in my mouse using the USB, and now I'm plugging in the power supply. I'm using the officially provided power. So once it's powered on, you'll see something like a rainbow flash screen, and then immediately this pop-up appears. So which shows you what kind of a OS has to be installed onto it. So the setup process takes a while, about like 10 to 15 minutes for it to download and copy all the files onto the flash onto the this thing. So then fairly it asks for the country you're in, language you're in, the time zone you're in, and then boom, it's all done. You'll be having a Raspbian OS mounted onto the Raspberry Pi straight into that. So it's fairly simple, guys. I hope you liked the video, guys. Thank you so much. Please do subscribe for more updates on the Raspberry Pi and other technological gadgets. Thank you.